Rise up, live joy your way. From emotional intelligence through cognitive distortions, certified life and wellness coach Kamini Wood is on a mission to help people see the magnificence of their own unique human spirit. Through these small bites of self-visualization and self-confidence, you can have healthy relationships, success in business and career, and live the life you want to live. Rise up, live joy your way.
Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Rise Up, Live Joy Your Way. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, thank you for taking your time to spend with me. And today I want to talk about emotional regulation. I think this is an important topic for us to talk about because we live in such a fast-paced world, and it's a fast-paced world of high performance. And it is so easy to get caught up in the deadlines and the expectations and the pressures. And often we focus on those external achievements that we completely overlook those internal skills, and we overlook regulating our own emotions. So I want to just explore some strategies tailored for professionals as well as, honestly, it could be all of us to just help manage our stress, because in this world of constant doing, it is so exhausting as well as stressful to constantly feel like I've got to next and I've got to do more and more and more, especially as you're trying to climb whatever corporate ladder you might be involved with. So let's just talk about emotional regulation to begin with. It is the ability to manage and respond to your emotions without suppressing them. So it's to honor what the emotions you're feeling are, and then to figure out how you want to respond to them. So for high-performing professionals, emotions can run extraordinarily high, whether it's the excitement of closing a major deal or the frustration of losing a major deal. Those, the stress of deadlines, they're natural and they're normal. But if we leave them unchecked, it can absolutely lead to burnout. So emotional regulation is absolutely a skill that we have to develop and we have to strengthen like any other muscle so that we can use it to build resilience. And by tuning into your emotional state, you can actually be more effective in responding to situations. So let's talk about some techniques that can help with emotional regulation. The very first one is mindfulness. And what I mean by mindfulness is being present moment aware, being in this moment, not in the past and not worrying about the future. So mindfulness really helps us stay grounded because it brings your attention to what's happening here and now rather than future tripping and worrying about what's going to happen, an hour from now, a day from now, a week from now. So we have to start by just a way to start doing this is to just bring yourself in and focus on your breath. That's one of the easiest ways to practice mindfulness, which is come back and focus on your in-breath and your out-breath for a minute. And you can do that in any part of your day. The second thing that I want to offer is really labeling your emotions, really putting a name to what you feel. So often we are taught to just move past it, like, okay, so you're feeling sad, but get over it, or we don't have time for that. So give yourself the ability to say, there's a part of me that's feeling stressed, or there's a part of me that's feeling overwhelmed, because by naming it, we're giving ourselves space between us and the emotion. And as I mentioned with mindfulness, breathing techniques, actually, I want to mention deep breathing is really important. Deep breathing means I'm not going to breathe from my chest. I'm going to breathe down from my gut. And so it's paying attention to actually taking some deep breaths. And you can do this in a 4, 7, 8 method where you breathe in for 4, you hold it for 7, and you breathe out for 8. Also, there's another concept called cognitive reframing, which involves the shifting of your perspective. So for instance, it says, well, if I'm thinking that this project is a total disaster, just shifting it into this is a challenge and I need to figure out ways that I want to work through it, rather than getting stuck in this idea that it's a complete disaster. And the other thing is setting time for intentional breaks. Often we just keep going and going and going. We're trying to muscle through it, but it's important to schedule short breaks throughout your day. And you can use that time to check in with yourself. You can use that time to breathe. You can use that time to just take a short walk, because just breaking up the day and recognize that you have to muscle through it is a way that you practice emotional regulation. High performing environments do absolutely come with so much stress and pressure. And while some of that stress can be motivating, I do not want to say that all stress is bad. Some stress pushes us to perform. It's the chronic stress that I'm talking about, the chronic never being able to regulate and come out of that fight or flight is what gets to you. So it is important to figure out ways that you could prioritize, that you can delegate certain tasks that maybe don't require you to work on. Practice setting boundaries, recognizing if you're adding too much to your plate and learning how to say no, that I can't add this right now, and sticking to it. Developing a support system, connecting with other people, especially if you're in the work environment, connecting with others, having people that you can talk to and feel supported by, but also that you can share ideas with because they might have a way to work through some of the challenges. And I absolutely believe that in, adding in physical activity is so important, especially in these high demanding environments. Being able to get up and walk around is important because when we are stuck in that fight or flight and we're not moving the energy through our body, it just sits there. And so being really proactive in managing that stress. And then finally, I just want to talk about emotional intelligence for just a brief second. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions. It's also our ability to recognize and influence how other people might be feeling. So when you're thinking about emotional intelligence, the best way to think about it is it's a combination of self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and then relationship management. And self-awareness matters because, again, once we're aware of something that's happening for us, we recognize what activates us or what triggers us. That allows us to then decide how we want to respond. So if you can spend some time just checking in with yourself and managing, journaling is a great way that you can do that. It's just really checking in and saying, how am I feeling today? And almost write to yourself in the third person. That second part of emotional intelligence, self-management, is that part of then managing how you respond to a certain situation. Because if you are able to name your feeling, then you can ask yourself, well, what do I need? Right. So then it allows you to figure out how you want to respond to it. That third part of emotional intelligence about social awareness, that is important because that allows us to understand how other people might be feeling. And it allows us to then work on how we want to communicate and how we want to collaborate. So paying attention to nonverbal cues, for instance, is important in a way that you can grow just that social awareness. And then in terms of relationship management, the way that we build strong relationships and the priority that we put on that can lead to that better teamwork and better collaboration, as well as for leaders to become more effective leaders. So being able to just practice constructive feedback, but more importantly, being able to acknowledge other people and really let them know that you hear what they're saying, and also address any conflicts or any worries that they have. And having that high emotional intelligence allows you to not only make better decisions for yourself, but it really builds your own leadership skills. So as I kind of wrap up this conversation around emotional regulation, I just want to reiterate and to invite you to remember that it is not about eliminating emotions or suppressing them. It is about giving a name to them and navigating through them. And for high performers, it's really important to allow the emotions to actually be those data packets to tell you what it is that you're needing. And if you start to integrate some of these techniques into your daily life, you'll notice that there's going to be a shift in how you're showing up in your professional world. If you'd like to talk about, emotional regulation or just how to work with your emotions or to relearn how to engage with your emotions, I absolutely invite you to book a time to just chat with me at coachwithkamini.com. And until next time, stay well.
Thank you for listening to Rise Up, Live Joy Your Way. For more information, book a chat with Kamini at www.chatwithkamini.com or visit her website at www.kaminiwood.com. You can also find Kamini on Facebook or Instagram. Username It's Authentic Me. Thank you for listening.